get the lighting.
Aloha everybody. Aloha. We are here at the capital of the illegal occupation of Hawaii. Face that way, or are we good?
You're live, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, as long as the light's not bad in the back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So today is the very last day in which HB 955 can be heard. This is the last measure that is possible for the legislature of the state of Hawaii end the criminalization of midwives and birth attendants and even aunties, grandmas, anyone else who may be giving care or advice to a pregnant or birthing woman or anyone who is involved in birth, postpartum, or any kind of care, which, as we know, is a major missing ingredient in keeping people safe and alive. We have, as Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders, we have the worst health statistics of any ethnic group in the quote-unquote United States. And that means that more mothers die in childbirth or outside of childbirth. And it's very important to understand that none of these births are associated with home birth or midwifery care. They are associated with a lack of care, lack of follow-up, with obstetric violence and trauma from hospitals and many other colonial factors that need to be addressed. And they are not being addressed. And so we're here today because today is the last day, and from what we understand, it will be brought to the floor today. So we will see who votes for this measure and who does not. There are a couple of people who are not here we know are in support, but of course today is the last day for the measure, and they won't be able to vote. However, we will count support in different ways, but we are going to come out with a measure from today of where everything stands.
And we'll be passing out, all of them have already received the lawsuit, information about the lawsuit last week. They received a letter from the ACLU that was delivered to their offices personally yesterday, asking the House to re-refer HB 955 out of committee, bring it to the floor and pass it to the Senate. And so today we'll be giving them just the opportunity to let them know that it will be brought to the floor and they have the chance to support it today. And we need at least 11 votes for a roll call. So if we can get 11, that means we have 11 in support. If not, we will need 17 to be able to re-refer it out of committee, and we'll need half of them to pass it. And this is important because it is election year, so those who do not bring it to the floor with a voice vote or a vote to even do a roll call really shows what kind of support they're willing to offer with this as the last solution this year with the lawsuit in place, which reveals the constitutional and human right and reproductive violations that they are being sued for. So this is the opportunity for a quick fix for the community, for the state, and for everyone. And we'll see what happens today. HB 955, also known as Sovereign's Law. Did you want to share anything?
This is Sovereign, by the way.
Yes.
She is a student midwife, and she is has been a PO voice, a voice of youth in this legislative process, and for healers who may not be heard. And the person who is just escaping over there is future Senator
Oh yeah.
Lauren
Duarte.
Duarte.
We need to introduce the future Senator Lauren Duarte. Yeah. And our poo blower.
Poo blower.
Yes.
Yes, our very important poo blower.
Yes.
So yeah, mahalo you guys. You guys have been part of this and standing for this for years now.
Yeah, they've been here for at least 6 years, asking for the legislators to do the right thing, and now it's pretty obvious what the right thing is, and we're excited to see what comes with the lawsuit moving forward.
To be clear, what is going on in this legislature, in case it's confusing, because it's rightfully confusing to a lot of people. There are certain legislators who are just completely against home birth and against midwives, to be very clear. It's not all of them, but those few have a lot of power. And there's been a lot of bullying inside of this building. And so some people are scared to support this, even if they do support this. And we're really asking them to take a clear stand now, which puts people on the spot for sure. And it's rough, but we are at that point where either people are going to side with the Heva, or they're going to side with what's right, you know. And there are a few legislators here, notably Ellie Cochran, Natalia Hasi-Burdick. There have been a few who have taken stands. You know, Natalia Hasi-Burdick is the author of this bill. Ellie Cochran is the author of a very excellent bill. She's the representative from Lahaina that was totally outright killed early on in the session. And so there are some legislators who have attempted to do the right thing despite the pressure, but there's a lot of silencing going on. There's a lot who are afraid to speak out, and we do want to be really clear right now that at this moment we are asking people to take a stand. It may or may not be one that that goes anywhere, because ultimately this is a vestige of illegal occupation. I'm going to just say it. And part of the work there is aloha. There's ACLU, yay ACLU. and part of the work has been to part of their work has been to wipe out a lot of practices, which we've seen historically over time, and this is a continuation of that agenda. It's not made up, it's actually historically documented from 1905 forward. So what we're seeing is that these practices have flourished anyway. And you know, we're lucky to have people like Sovereign who are interested in taking them on despite all of the difficulty, despite that these things are not, you know, get rich quick kinds of work that are being done. They're really hard work, but they're very important, and they need to be protected and supported. So we're going to go up there and we are going to ask them to take a stand. Yeah?
Yep.
So if anybody's there, feel free to give your legislator a call right now, your representative specifically. Look up your representative in the House of Representatives and give them a call right now. For those who are watching live, it won't hurt for them to be reminded that we want them to vote in the right way. We don't know if it's going to be a Democrat or a Republican who is going to bring this to the floor today, but whoever it is, it's just the right thing to do. That's all there is to it. So we ask them to do the right thing.
And follow up after
And follow up afterwards.
if they didn't support.
That's right. Oh, to be very clear too, in the process, and this is important to understand, if this doesn't pass today, it's not like we lose, okay? Just to be very clear. There are several other things happening. So the governor can still stop criminalization in a moment if he wants to with an executive order. Okay?
So should they call the governor or schedule something?
Yeah, well, we look for the action call because
Okay.
there are gonna be action calls coming up over the governor, this goes to next. Also, in the court system, so Hano versus State of Hawaii. Look up the court case. If anybody is watching live, if you can post the link in the comments to that court case, it's very, very important. That is being fought by the Center for Reproductive Rights, Native Hawaiian Legal Corporation, and Perkins and Coy law firm, and that is going forward against the state of Hawaii for criminalizing these birth practices. It's an excellently written lawsuit, very human readable. Take a look at it. It's great reading to understand the whole situation that this is a part of. And we'll be following that very closely. So the heat is on. Meanwhile, we are also going to be building up our Kupuna Council. We just lost one of our great birth kupuna, Uncle Abel Simeona Louis, who was, he was a midwife apprentice as a youth himself. And he's now gone and joined the ancestors. He was our Big Island representative. We still have a very strong Kupuna Council that is going to be growing. So our cultural efforts are going to be growing. So stay in touch. If anybody wants to get involved with this, hit me up. Okay, and we're also going to be doing a lot of community education. And we're going to be continuing these practices because we have the right to do so, right? Criminalization doesn't mean that people are criminal. To be very clear, it doesn't mean that they've actually broken any law. Criminalization means that people are being persecuted even though they have constitutional rights. So, keep an eye out, because if anything happens, we're going to need everybody's support. We're going to need everybody to call and, raise a big hoo-ha over it if anything happens to anybody, because we are going to stand together with every single midwife, every single birthing practitioner. And if anybody hassles you, if you are a birthing practitioner and anybody hassles you, let us know, because we are there. Okay, so we're not going to allow for persecution, and that is another front on which this is absolutely going to continue. So the legislature has this last chance. This is their last chance. And to be clear, next year, it's a whole different game. This is a whole different game, because without legislation next year, the whole law dies. And we should be very clear on that, because they all know it already. So next year, we're in a completely different game where they need to pass a bill, or we have no licensure. And so we're going to need everybody to take a very strong stand next year. If their bill is not better than nothing, we're going to kill it. And we need you to stand up and help us kill it. And we're not going to be unclear about that at all. We are not compromising. They have their chance. This is their chance. This is their chance. This is their last chance. After that, we didn't start a battle, they did. And they are going to be in the position of defending their own mistake. So, please be ready. Stand with us. It's going to be a nice hot year, and a nice hot year after that. So we're going to be ready to go. So now we're going to go and